Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to see you all here, and today I would like to talk about such a topic as solving behavior problems. I am sure that each of you has some problems that you know about or that you turn a blind eye to. Everyone, even me, has some behavior that I don't like in a dog, and I need to work on correcting this behavior. You will not hear any magical methods here, just as you will not learn about any magical tools. If you're looking for something like an electronic color, it will not work, because the behavior of a dog is always a complex mechanism. It is a set of processes, and in order for its behavior to begin to change, the environment in which the dog is located must be changed, as a result of which the behavior will also change. The first thing that will help you is you made the dog this way, because the life of your dog depends entirely on you. You feed him, you walk him, you play with him, he lives with you, and according to any behavioral problems, it was you who caused them. Understanding this fact is fundamental, because most people want to absolve themselves of responsibility, and they look for a problem in the dog, a problem in his genetics, or something from above. Everyone is always to blame except ourselves. When we understand that we're the cause of our dog's behavior problems, solving the problem immediately becomes much easier, because you start looking for changes in yourself, and then you're on the right path. In order for something to change, something must be changed. Where to start? You need to start from the base. For example, if your dog is overexcited, maybe the problem is not that he overexcites himself, but maybe the problem is that he does not walk much, and maybe you gave him some kind of reinforcement or reward, or you were happy when the dog was in an excited state, and thus, from the balanced dog, you made him very excited and nervous. That is, first we have to set up all the basic things. How the dog eats, when it eats, what exactly it eats, in what condition it receives food, whether this food is constantly available, whether you work for food. That is, look from the side at how the process of obtaining food generally occurs, because this process can greatly affect the dog. If we start not just putting food in the bowl, but reward correct behavior, motivate the dog, manipulate the dog, then the dog will begin to adjust. Next, how does your dog walk? Is it 15 minutes around the house, or you take quality long walks full of games, training, different places? Please, take a look from the outside at how your walks are going. The first is the length of the walk, and the second is the quality of the walk. What happens in it, how much it affects your dog, or you just go out and let the dog go and play with other dogs, and that's it. The next thing to think about is how your dog rests. Does he have an organized place for rest? Can he relax somewhere? Does he have a fixed schedule? Does he have distinct phases of rest, when he can simply relax, restore all his processes, and nothing and no one will bother him, and so on. You need to organize a normal, high-quality rest for your dog. And these are three fundamental things that need to be thought about and that need to be changed somehow. If we have everything set up, the dog eats properly, walks properly, and rests properly, this is already a 50% success. It means that we have a good fundament and we can move on. And then we can think about whether you're in conflict with the dog. I often see some kind of conflict. For example, the dog wants to go somewhere and we start pulling with the leash, saying, don't go there, don't touch it, don't pull the leash, don't do something. Well, you get it, don't do anything at all. Next, the dog wants to climb on the couch, but you don't allow it, you make it go away. Or you give the dog a bone or some kind of tasty treat and then take it away. That is, you constantly create many conflict situations. Well, why should we conflict with our dog? We need to make friends and establish interactions with our dog and show that our relationship is both to the dog and to the person. If you're constantly in a conflict of interest, then this is no longer good and you need to think about it. Why create all these situations at all? You see, you can solve any dispute, you can solve any conflict situation with the dog, but sometimes it takes a lot of effort and time to solve it. And it is possible to prevent these conflict situations at all. Well, for example, the dog climbed onto the sofa or the couch, you start scolding him and try to make him go away. Or you can just throw a piece on the floor and the dog will happily follow it. That is, you achieved your goal and the conflict did not occur. This is such a trick, but you avoided the conflict, and thereby you showed the dog that you're reinforcing him from getting off the couch and you were happy about it, so he can see your reaction. That is, he does not conflict with you, he pleases you. This is a fundamental thing. Or again, I will give the example of a treat that you give to a dog. You yourself gave her a treat, and then you are surprised that the dog starts to protect these same treats from you. And so that he does not do this, it is necessary to explain him from childhood that you are not competing for this resource. But if you miss this moment, and you already have a conflict situation over delicacy, then it is better not to give this bone to the dog and not to conflict with the dog at all. My job as a dog trainer is to look at it all from this side, because people are not objective in general. They perceive the world through their own prism. To some people, the same behavior or some things seem one thing, but the instructor sees it all in a completely different way. My task at the first stages, when a person applies for behavioral problems, is not to solve the specific problem, not to come up with any schemes or invent any tools that can help solve this problem, but to roll back, adjust the interaction of a person with a dog completely, adjust the relationship, see how life happens for them, and then, when it's all set up, I assure you that most of your problems will magically disappear. They just disappear and that's it. But if they do not disappear even then it is necessary to analyze everything more deeply, in more detail, and then come up with something how to avoid this or that behavior problem. But these are more subtle nuances, and in such a general video like this, unfortunately, there is no sense to talk about them. We made such a little philosophical video. I hope it wasn't too boring, and I ask you to subscribe to the channel, press the bell, like, and of course, write a comment for promotion. I will be very pleased if you do that. I wish everyone a good day.